Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's video. So today video is something which I thought I have delayed actually, and I should have made it a bit earlier, but it's never too late. So let's look at that. What are the Faraiz, what are Wajibat, and what are Sunnah during the Hajj time? So before we proceed, one thing we need to understand, what's the difference between Faraiz and Wajibat, because there is a close link, and usually we consider, majority of us consider like Wajibat as well, as same as Faraiz. So Faraiz is something which you cannot miss. If you skip any of the first ritual of Hajj, then your Hajj will be invalid. So it won't be a Hajj, considered as a Hajj, and there is no remedy of that, except that you have to perform the Hajj again next year or some other year. So whereas for wajibat it is very near to first, but the thing is that the liberty is that if for any reason you are unable to complete any wajibat, then you can your hajj will still be completed, and you need to pay a dam. And what is dam? Basically a sacrifice, a qurbani, a sadaqah you need to do, or fidya you need to do for that. And usually it is an animal sacrifice basically for hajj ritual if you miss any of the wajibat. So wajibat is for hajj concept. Wajibat is something which you need to do, it's a must, and if you miss it, your hajj can still be valid if you pay a dam, if you do a qurbani. And faraiz is something, if you miss, there is no remedy. Even if you do a number of qurbani, it won't compensate for that, but wajibat can be compensated with the dam. And what is sunnah? Sunnah is optional, usually it's not a farz again. Sunnah is something which makes it closer to the ritual how the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed it, but it's not a compulsion. If you don't do it, it's okay. If you try to do it, it will be afzal, it is better. So now let's have a look at what are the faraiz, sunnah, and wajibat. So let's start with the faraiz of Hajj. So there are basically three faraiz of Hajj. The right diagram is the one which I have been using in all my videos, because this shows the complete chart of what needs to be done for each day of Hajj. So the three faraiz are ihram and niyyah, waqoof arafah, and tawaf ziyara. So let's start with that. Sorry. So the first thing is ihram and niyyah. So ihram for female, it can be any clothes, any normal clothes which they want to wear, they can have it, as long as they keep their face uncovered, or if they want to cover their face, they have to use a p-cap or something so that the cloth don't touch their face. So this is for females. For male, it's two white sheets or unstitched, or what ulama say basically, any clothes which don't basically are fit to wear basically. So that's why unstitched cloth. So two sheets of cloth as you see in the picture, and of course the niyyah as well, that you do the hajj niyyah depending on what type of hajj you are going to do, hajj kiran, hajj tamattu, or hajj ifrad. You do the niyyah for hajj. So this is the first thing that you have to do. Number two. Number two, fars for Hajj is waqoof arfa. Waqoof means stand. So waqoof arfa is that for on a day of Arafat, which is 10 Zill Hajjah, you stand and you basically do a dua and stand for a little while. As far as you have done that, if for any medical reason you can't stand, that's okay as well. But it is that you basically make dua, and usually the time for waqoof arfa is after the Asr prayer, and before the Maghrib prayer, just before the Maghrib is the preferred time. So this is the Waqoof Arafah time, and this is the picture, and you will see all the people standing. Some people like to go to Mount Arafat, so you can go over there as well, or you can do near your camp as well, wherever your camp is. Just go outside in the open sky after Asr time, between Asr and Maghrib, and do that, and then it will be validated. Your Waqoof Arafah will be done. So there is no and what people sometimes think or mix it up, that the khutbah which happens on the 10th of Zulhijjah, that is compulsory. That is not compulsory. That is not a faraz. That is a sunnah. So we will talk about that in the sunnah of Hajj. So the khutbah which happens in Masjid Nimra, that is not compulsion. You don't need to go there. It is a sunnah but not a farz. Number three, the third farz, which is required, after which your Hajj will be completed, is the Tawaf Ziyara. So Tawaf Ziyara is done either on 10th, 11th, or 12th of Zil Hijjah. Preferred to do it on 10th once you have came out of the state of Ihram, but you can do it or delay it to 11th and 12th as well. So if you have done these three things, then basically it means that your farz rituals for Hajj are completed, and the rest are basically, then comes the second part, which is the wajibat. So if you have gone for Hajj and it's once in a lifetime for most majority of the people, then that's the thing, you should try and you must try, I would say, to do all the wajibat as well, because if you don't do any wajibat, you have to do a dam for each of the wajibat which you have missed. So you will need to pay a dam, or you need to get a Qurbani done for all of them. So what are the wajibat? So let's have a look at them. So there are 6 of the wajibat. Let's look one by one. So number one is waqoof Muzdalifah. So some people don't really understand waqoof Muzdalifah. So waqoof Muzdalifah is that on a 10th of Zil Hijjah, after basically spending the day or till Maghrib time in Arafat, as soon as the Maghrib falls, you go to Muzdalifah, and after you are in Muzdalifah, you spend the night over there. And when the Fajr time starts, as soon as the Fajr time starts, you will find that people start praying the Fajr prayer. And after the Fajr prayer, you stand for maybe 1 second or 10 second or 30 second, and you do the dua over there, and that is called waqoof Muzdalifah. So waqoof again means standing. So standing and making a dua in Muzdalifah just after the Fajr prayer, that's a waqoof Arafah. And the Fajr prayer is preferred to be performed on the earliest hour. As soon as the Fajr time starts, then you basically pray the Fajr prayer, do the dua, and then basically you move on to do the other rest of the rituals. So this is waqoof Muzdalifah. So this is wajib. The next thing is Rami of Jamarat. So Rami of Jamarat, which you're going to be doing on 10th, 11th, 12th, and if optional 13th as well. So this is that you stone the devil, the three shaitans. If you are doing on 10th, it's only the big shaitan. So this is also one of the things as part of the wajibat. The next one is the Qurbani or Hajj Qurbani or Hadi. Again, if you don't know what is Hadi, what is the difference between the normal Qurbani, the Eid Qurbani, and Hadi, which is the Eid Qurbani is Udhiyya, I have a separate video. You can watch my other videos about that. But just to emphasize, for Haji, for the person who is doing Hajj, the wajib is the Hadi, and he needs to get it done after he has completed the Rami on 10th. He need to make sure that the Qurbani is done after that, and once the Qurbani is done, only after that he can get the Halq or Qasr done and come out of the state of Ihram. So the main thing is the Qurbani or Hadi which is done, that is the wajib as well. The next thing is Halq or Qasr. As mentioned in before, so Halq is complete shave of the head, and Qasr is either cutting hair all around, or for females as well, basically they do Qasr as well, and male can also do Qasr, which means slight cutting of the hair from all around. So this is also a wajib, and you do it after you have completed the Qurbani. The next thing is, sorry, so the next thing is Sa'i after Tawaf Ziyara. So Sa'i as part of the Tawaf Ziyara. So Tawaf Ziyara was basically a faraz, but the Sa'i part is basically a wajib. So this is a difference, that the Tawaf Ziyara, the Tawaf of the Tawaf Ziyara is faraz, and Sa'i after the Tawaf Ziyara is basically wajib. And also just a mention, as I have mentioned here, a small note, if a person is doing Hajj Ifrad or Hajj Kiran, he might have done already the Sa'i as part of the Tawaf Qudum. If you don't know what is Tawaf Qudum, I have a separate video where I have explained all the different types of Tawaf. But just quickly, Tawaf Qudum is the one for the people who are doing Hajj Ifrad and Kiran. Once they arrive in Makkah, those two people are not doing basically Umrah, but they do a Tawaf Qudum, which means a welcome Tawaf. So as part of that, they can do a Sa'i at that time, or they can delay till this time. So if you are doing Hajj Ifrad or Kiran, what I would suggest that to do the Sa'i at the start with Tawaf Qudum, because at that time it would be less crowded and it will be easier for you. Whereas if you are going to do Tawaf Qudum, sorry, if you are going to do Tawaf Sa'i with Tawaf Ziyara, it will be a very crowded time, it would be a difficult time, and you will be tired due to the other Hajj rituals as well. So it's better to do earlier than later. Okay, now the last thing what in the wajib is the tawaf wida. So what is tawaf wida? After you have completed the Hajj main rituals, basically by 12th or 13th, you will be back in your hotel in Makkah or in Azizia, and then you're gonna be staying for whatever days are left for you to stay in Makkah. But when you are going to leave Makkah to go back your home countries or to Medina, if the plan is that you are going to Medina after the Hajj days, then just before the leaving, it's preferred to do tawaf wida, which is just tawaf, no sa'i required for that. You go and do the tawaf 7 circles around the Kaaba, and that is called tawaf wida. So this is also an wajib or wajib of ritual of Hajj. The next thing is the Sunnah of Hajj. So we have looked at the Faraiz, we have looked at the Wajibat, and we know the difference. And last thing is the Sunnah. So Sunnah is something which makes our performance near to what and how the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did. Although everything has been told to us by the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but there are some things which are Sunnah, which comes under the category of optional, but they are preferred because they make our Hajj more rewarding. So one is so there are 6 of these sunnah. So let's go on with it. Number 1 is reading talbiyah. So talbiyah is very important actually, as per some of the school of thoughts. Talbiyah is actually mandatory. It is something like faraz. Some of them think talbiyah is something like wajib, but based on my research, at least it is something like a sunnah. But that's the thing, it's better to do, so that's why it is still a sunnah. It won't invalidate your hajj, it's not a farz in that way, but this is the most important dua you need to recite during your hajj day. If you don't know any other dua, that's absolutely fine, but this talbiyah you should recite. And as I have mentioned in other videos, if you don't know, don't worry, you will learn it, because everyone will be saying the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak, labbaik innal hamda wan ni'mata lak wal mulk la sharika lak. Everyone will be saying this quite aloud throughout the journey once they come in the state of ihram, and even during the Umrah time as well. So you will for sure memorize it by heart. The second thing, the sunnah, is the Tawaful Qudum. So as mentioned, Tawaful Qudum, I introduced it earlier as part of the Sa'i as well. So Tawaful Qudum is the welcome Tawaf, which is performed only by the people who are doing a Hajj Ifrad and Hajj Kiran. If you are doing Hajj Tamattu, if you don't know the differences between them, I have a separate video on the types of Hajj, and you can look at that. So the people who are doing Hajj Tamattu, and this is the like 90% of the people who are coming from outside Saudi Arab will be doing Hajj Tamattu, and for them this is not valid, because they do usually an Umrah once they arrive to Makkah, so they are not obliged to do Tawaful Qudum. But for the people who are doing the Niyyah for Hajj Ifrad or Qiran, for them, if they do Tawaful Qudum, it's a Sunnah. The next thing is staying in Mina on the day of Tarwiyah. So, and that is the 8th of Zul Hajjah. So basically 8th of Zul Hajjah, when basically everyone starts, when the days of Hajj basically starts. So the days of Hajj are basically 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and optional is 13th. So 8th is the basically start of the day of Hajj, and staying on the like coming and arriving on 8th of Zul Hajjah before the Zuhr time, it's basically the preferred way. And this is, and spending that day and staying in Mina, it is basically a sunnah, it's not a farz. So if you miss to come on 8th of Zul Hajjah in Mina, it's not, it won't invalidate your Hajj, because this is a sunnah. The next thing is listening to the khutbah of 10 Zil Hajjah. So again, we discussed this as part of waqoof Arafah as well, that listening to the khutbah and come to the Masjid Nimra, either inside or outside, this is a sunnah, it's not a faraz. So if your camp is quite far away, because the camps in Arafat are quite far away from Masjid Nimra. You can be having your camp 3 kilometers away from Masjid Nimra as well. And if you consider the heat and temperature and everything and the day, how it's gonna be hectic from 10 Zulhijjah, it's better if you stay in your camp rather than coming to Masjid Nimra, because once you come to Masjid Nimra, it might take you 3-4 hours to go back to your camp, and it is better that from here afterwards you wait here and you go directly to Muzdalifah as well. So that's why it's not easy. So listening to khutbah, it's not a faraz, it's not a wajib, but it is a sunnah. The next thing is spending the nights of day of tashriq. So tashriq is basically referred to the meat, drying of the meat. Basically, you know that previously there were no refrigerators or there were no freezers, and people used to dry the meat, the camel or the Qurbani meat, and then they used to store it. So based on that, it comes the name days of tashriq. So the day of tashriq are after the Qurbani, which is 11th, 12th, and 13th Zilhajjah. So spending those days in Mina are basically sunnah. And the last thing is this, what I have read or what I've seen, most majority of the people won't be doing that because it's not that much feasible. But this is a sunnah as well, that when the Holy Prophet after the Tawaf Ziyara was coming back to Mina, he spent some time and some prayers in this location, which is Al Muhassab or Al Abta. So you can see in the yellow circle where you see Al Abta mentioned, and this is the white place which you see on the right side is all the Mina camps. So here you're going to be staying from from 8th Zilhajjah till 13th or 12th Zilhajjah, and this is Masjid al Haram. So once you go from Mina for to Masjid al Haram for Tawaf Ziyara, once you are coming back to Mina, the Holy Prophet basically stayed and spent some time in Al Abta. But it is optional, it is sunnah, but majority of the people won't be doing that because once you are so tired, you will be coming directly back. But if you want to be really passionate and near to sunnah, you can maybe have a stopover and then come. So these are all what I have to show you today. So you have seen the what are the Faraiz, what are Wajibat, and what are the Sunnah of Hajj. So you know that what you can't miss, what you can miss, and what is optional. So the Sunnah are optional. Wajibat, if you miss, you need to pay them. Faraiz, you cannot miss. If you miss, your Hajj is invalidated. Hope this video is useful for you. If you have any question, let me know. And again, a disclaimer, this information is to the best of my knowledge, to the best of the research which I have done. If there is something which contradicts with your school of thought, let me know, because it's good to know, and maybe I can add a disclaimer in the description as well. But again, inshallah, my aim or ambition here is to teach you to the best of my knowledge and the knowledge which I have gained for myself. Hope you like the video. If you like, please do subscribe and share, and there are lots and lots of other videos relating to Hajj and Umrah, and you can click on the right playlist as well. Thanks for watching. Left playlist, sorry. Thanks for watching. Take care. Till next time. Assalamu alaikum.